Family is meant to be everyone's safe zone, but that isn't always the case. Britney Spears, famously known as the Princess of Pop, was essentially a prisoner in her own home for 13 years. During that time, she endured countless hardships that slowly broke her spirit. In recent years, signs of Britney's ongoing mental health struggles have become a growing concern for many fans. What could turn a global icon into a victim of her own fame? Has Britney Spears truly found freedom after everything? And what challenges is she facing today? Join us as we uncover the turbulent life of Britney Spears in the video ahead. The main character in today's story is the global pop idol, Britney Spears. She was born on December 2nd, 1981, in Macomb, Mississippi, and grew up in the small town of Kentwood, Louisiana. Her parents, Jamie and Lynn Spears, lived on a modest income and often argued throughout their marriage. Britney's father struggled with alcoholism, and the constant fights eventually led to their divorce. Fortunately, Britney wasn't an only child. She was the middle child in the family, with an older brother and a younger sister. After the separation, Britney lived with her mother. By the age of 3, she was already stepping into the world of performing arts, taking dance lessons in her hometown. The sight of this tiny, energetic girl practicing tirelessly quickly caught everyone's attention. As a child, Britney didn't just dance. She also trained in gymnastics and singing, as if both her body and soul were preparing for something big. Although the family wasn't wealthy, her mother went to great lengths to enroll her in talent classes, always believing Britney deserved the best opportunities. Her father, despite his personal struggles, also had faith in her talent. He proudly showed her off to everyone and dreamed of a future where she would shine so brightly that she might even buy him a big boat one day. Imagine a little girl stepping onto a stage for the very first time, right in her hometown, at just a few years old. It was her preschool graduation ceremony, where Britney felt the lights, the applause, and an indescribable sense of excitement for the very first time. From an early age, Britney was a smart girl, always knowing what she needed and what kind of person she wanted to become. At the age of 8, Britney and her mother traveled to Atlanta, Georgia, to audition for the new version of the Mickey Mouse Club in the 1990s. But the casting director, Mark Corella, rejected her because she was too young at that time. Nevertheless, thanks to her innate talent, Britney still made it into the top 6, and Mr. Corella introduced her to Nancy Carson, a well-known talent scout in New York. Just 1 year later, at the age of 10, Britney participated in a beauty pageant. Although she didn't win any awards, in just over 2 minutes of performance, her impressive singing made the entire audience erupt with applause. And from that moment, Britney began her journey to fame. By the age of 11, Britney's dream finally came true. She officially joined the lineup of the Mickey Mouse Club alongside future legends like Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Kerry Russell. But right after the show ended in 1996, following 2 brilliant years on the small screen, Britney returned to her hometown to continue her studies and get used to a new environment, a crucial turning point that would prepare her for even bigger challenges in her life. But things didn't go as she had hoped. At first, she had dreamed of joining a girl group, but her mother, Lynn, did not agree. However, in a quiet act full of love, Lynn sent a recording of her daughter to a friend, and that simple gesture completely changed Britney's life. At the age of 16, Britney reached one of the biggest turning points in her career. As pop music was dominating America, she signed a contract with Jive Records, a subsidiary of RCA Records under Sony, one of the giants in the music industry at the time. This was the label managing globally renowned bands like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, European and American boy bands at the peak of their fame. At that time, the teen pop market was somewhat less vibrant compared to the boy bands, and Jive Records saw a golden opportunity. They planned an extensive promotional campaign for Britney's solo debut, a strategy that promised not only to turn her into the next pop phenomenon, but also to mark the first step of a future global superstar. At just 16, Britney was standing before a huge door, a door where talent, ambition, and youthful energy would come together to create a musical story the world was about to witness. And from this moment, her journey to becoming the pop princess officially began. In 1999, the defining milestone of Britney's career arrived, the release of her debut album featuring the smash hit Baby One More Time. The song immediately became a global classic, with numbers that left the entire music industry in awe. It topped the charts in 15 countries, stayed at #1 for consecutive weeks in Australia, and sold over 10 million copies worldwide. Overnight, Britney was cemented as part of the new generation of teen pop singers, and the world began to know the name Pop Princess. But as always, the peak of fame never comes without its storms. By the time she reached her second album, Britney decided to shed her sweet schoolgirl image and adopt a more seductive, sexy, and mature persona. Immediately, she faced a wave of backlash from a conservative Christian segment, and public sensitivity heightened even further as the album's release coincided with the sexual scandal involving U.S. President Bill Clinton and an intern at the White House. But that was only the beginning. Britney's personal life soon became a major topic of public scrutiny. In 2002, she and Justin Timberlake announced their breakup. Having often displayed their affection openly in front of cameras, the news of their split shocked the public. The official reason given was incompatibility, but shortly after, Timberlake released a new song with melancholic lyrics portraying a female character many people assumed was Britney. Public opinion immediately turned against her. Rumors that Britney had cheated with a dancer and left Justin to face public scrutiny alone put her under immense pressure from both the media and the public, all while she was still a very young woman. Over a decade later, Justin, the one who had caused so much misunderstanding for Britney, publicly apologized to her on Instagram. Yet even with his explanation, the incident left an indelible scar on the life of the pop princess and unleashed a wave of backlash that would alter the course of her life in ways no one could have predicted. Britney's life seemed never to lack turmoil. In just a short span of time, events unfolded one after another like an endless drama movie. In January 2004, Britney married her childhood friend, Jason Allen Alexander, at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada. But the marriage ended abruptly only 55 hours later when the court annulled it, ruling that Britney had not been fully aware of her actions. Rumors circulated that Britney had been the one to propose, but her mother, Lynn, stepped in to prevent even bigger trouble. Less than 6 months later, in July 2004, Britney got engaged to Kevin Federline, an American dancer she had met just 3 months earlier at a Hollywood bar. The two quickly traveled across Europe, enjoying romantic days together, and decided to get married. This relationship instantly became the focus of media attention, especially since Kevin had just left actress Shar Jackson, who was pregnant with his second child, casting Britney as the other woman in the scandal. A year later, in 2005, Britney and Kevin welcomed their first son, Sean. Britney's life entered a new chapter. She devoted herself to caring for her family and experiencing the joys and challenges of motherhood, while still having to face the spotlight and the relentless scrutiny of the public. Every move she made was closely followed, and even the most ordinary moments of her life became headline news. By 2005, Britney Spears was no longer just a pop star. She was a global icon, so much so that a single photo of her could fetch as much as $1 million. Because of this, paparazzi never missed a chance, constantly surrounding Britney's home, observing every gesture, every small action. Then, in 2006, a shocking image appeared all over the headlines. Britney was driving with her son Sean on her lap instead of in a car seat. Immediately, child protection agencies voiced their outrage. Britney later explained that she had been startled by the paparazzi while on her way to Starbucks. In the chaos, she dropped her coffee cup and Sean accidentally slipped from her arms. The news Britney drops her child to save her Starbucks cup, spread everywhere, becoming the center of public attention and drawing harsh criticism from all sides. At the same time, Britney was also pregnant with her second child with Kevin, and the conflicts in her marriage combined with public pressure became unbearable. Eventually, Britney filed for divorce, seeking sole custody of her children, while Kevin was also determined to gain custody of his own son. The saga dominated countless headlines, turning Britney's private life into a public spectacle. 2007, a painful and unforgettable milestone in Britney Spears' life, marked a fall at the very peak of her career. All the stage lights, lucrative contracts, and dazzling successes suddenly faded under the storms of life and relentless pressure from the outside world. Her parents, though divorced, often quarreled whenever they met. Britney always had to be the one in the middle, trying to find a safe place to escape that tension. She sought comfort from her uncle and mother, but at the start of the following year, tragedy struck when her mother passed away from a serious illness. Britney suddenly lost her only emotional support, with nowhere truly safe to escape the media and the paparazzi constantly lurking around. The custody battle with her ex-husband Kevin also became brutal. Britney began suffering from a series of mental health struggles, postpartum depression, severe anxiety, and bipolar disorder. At the peak of her crisis, she walked into a salon and shaved her own head with clippers. The salon owner later posted information about auctioning Britney's hair starting at $1 million, an event that shocked the entire Western world. The tension didn't stop there. Her ex-husband Kevin requested a hearing to gain custody of their two children, and in a fit of anger, Britney drove to San Fernando to confront him. But the house was locked, surrounded by a swarm of paparazzi. In frustration, Britney grabbed an umbrella and smashed the window of a reporter's car. The same umbrella was later auctioned off with a starting price of $100,000. From a sweet pop queen, Britney now had to be hospitalized every 3 days for anxiety disorders. She was also forced to fire her manager, who had previously pushed her to enter a treatment facility. The tragedy worsened when her own father became her direct conservator, while her stepmother actively involved herself in the custody lawsuits. It seemed as though everyone around her was trying to control her life. In desperation, Britney wrote a letter to her fans, but even that letter was distorted and misused. By October 2007, Britney had lost custody of her two children, allowed to see them only once a week. The court rulings were kept secret from the public, like a painful low note in her life. And amid all these storms, Britney never stopped pouring herself into music. She released her fifth studio album, Blackout. Despite criticism of her wardrobe and performance style, the album became a global legend, topping sales charts in multiple countries, proving that her talent and fighting spirit were undeniable. In 2008, Britney entered the darkest period of her life, one the world would only gradually come to fully understand. She was accused of violating her visitation rights, a scandal that shocked both the media and her fans. Reports claimed that she had locked herself in a bathroom with her two children, only to be discovered by her ex-husband, who immediately took them to the hospital after the children were found to be ill with an unidentified virus. On January 31, 2008, Britney was officially admitted to a psychiatric hospital, and her father, Jamie Spears, became her legal guardian, taking full control over all decisions in her life. This guardianship, which is usually reserved for elderly people with Alzheimer's disease, was applied to Britney, a young, talented, globally famous woman. Put simply, it was nearly total control, effectively reducing her to a spiritual prisoner under her father's authority. Just 1 month later, in February 2008, Britney was formally placed under the temporary personal guardianship of Jamie Spears, while lawyer Andrew Wallet took control of every aspect of her finances. For 13 long years, Britney had no control over her own life. She could not receive or manage her income, could not create or amend a will, could not hire a lawyer, and could not change or terminate her conservatorship. She was also not allowed to marry, not allowed to get pregnant, and even meeting friends or interacting with the media was strictly monitored. During this period, despite being at the peak of her fame, Britney was still earning millions of dollars every week. But all that money went straight into the hands of her father, who was her conservator. She was left only with the responsibility of paying tens of thousands of dollars each month to her ex-husband for child support for her 2 children, while her personal rights were almost zero. Yet Britney's father, the appointed conservator, after deducting all expenses such as staff salaries, lawyer fees, and the conservatorship team, left Britney with a mere around $2,000. Let me repeat, only $2,000 for a global superstar. These people had the power to do anything with Britney, from forcing her into a psychiatric facility, compelling her to take unwanted jobs, to controlling the most personal matters like removing her birth control device or even buying a Starbucks cup, all requiring their approval. It didn't stop there. Her father used her money to purchase properties for her sister and brother, as if Britney's assets were not hers. But Britney did not remain silent. With the help of a few friends, she quietly reached out to a lawyer for assistance. The lawyer concluded that Britney's personal rights had been severely violated and filed a case in federal court. However, the judge ruled that Britney did not have the right to hire her own lawyer, and the matter was sent back to the state court. Another lawyer, Samuel Ingham, was appointed to work with Britney, but she was dissatisfied. She filed to have the conservator changed, but was denied. By 2014, as social media platforms began to flourish, Britney found a bridge to the outside world. Through Instagram, she shared posts, photos, and videos, reaching thousands of concerned fans. Her fans quickly realized that Britney was a normal mother, a woman who had achieved extraordinary success in music, television, and a career spanning over a decade, fully capable of taking care of herself. Britney began sending subtle but powerful SOS signals on social media, small cries for help that carried immense weight. The public started to notice. A letter from her was published by the Daily Mail, and in the comments, fans advised, "If you need help, wear yellow in your next video." Not long after, Britney posted a video dressed in yellow, a desperate yet clever plea for help. Then in 2019, after disappearing for 3 months, Britney returned to Instagram. She revealed that she had voluntarily checked into a mental health facility, but the reason was not for herself. It was because her father's health had become increasingly critical. This was one of those little-known moments, showing that behind the glitter and fame, Britney was still fighting day by day against unforeseen challenges. On top of that, fans began circulating rumors that all of her Instagram posts were staged, controlled by her team. According to these rumors, Britney was forced into a mental rehabilitation facility for months and was allegedly made to take medication. And contrary to what some believed, her father Jamie was not seriously ill. These rumors and pressures struck a chord with the fan community. They rose up organizing large rallies with the famous slogan, "Free Britney." And it wasn't just the public. Kevin, Britney's ex-boyfriend, also filed a lawsuit against Jamie, accusing him of physically affecting his 2 sons. In September 2019, Jamie temporarily stepped down as conservator, citing illness, but still retained control over Britney's assets. Even her mother, Lynn Spears, joined the conservatorship team under the pretext of concern for her daughter's health, and she used Britney's money to buy a $2 million home for herself. Each year, Britney had to pay an additional $150,000 for its upkeep. The constant changes within the conservatorship team led to conflicts, disputes over rights, and eventually, its breakdown. At the beginning of 2020, Britney filed to end the conservatorship at a hearing, but was still denied. However, a glimmer of hope appeared. Her assets were transferred to a trust company with access to an accountant appointed by the court. Finally, in August 2021, after 13 years of living in what she called a gilded cage, Britney regained control of her finances. The first thing she did after reclaiming her money? She bought a new tablet, a small but symbolic gesture affirming that she could finally make her own choices. On November 12, 2021, the court officially ended the conservatorship. After more than a decade of struggle, Britney Spears was finally free. A long and painful journey, but also an inspiring one, ending with the light and freedom she truly deserved. After a string of scandals, people have been watching closely to see how Britney manages her family relationships. Of course, Britney has maintained a close bond with her brother, Brian Spears. After her divorce from Sam Asghari in August 2023, Brian moved in with his sister and has appeared alongside her on several vacations. A source confirmed that Brian remains close to Britney while consciously staying out of other family conflicts. After a period of distance, Britney is now reconnecting with her two sons, Sean Preston, 19, and Jaden James, 18. According to sources, her sons want her to play a bigger role in their lives, something that brings Britney tremendous joy. Jaden James is reportedly the one taking the initiative to rebuild their bond, while the relationship with Sean Preston is progressing more slowly. They're rebuilding trust, and Britney really respects Sean's feelings, a family insider shared. Even though she has broken free from the control once imposed by her parents, one question remains: has Britney's mental health truly stabilized? Perhaps the struggles she endured left wounds so deep that she hasn't fully recovered. Recent signs have sparked concern and debate among fans and the public alike. Alongside the joy of being close to her children, Britney Spears has started to worry not just her family and friends, but also her devoted fans about her mental health. According to the Daily Mail, sources revealed that the singer is currently going through a serious crisis. Her Los Angeles home has become so messy that it's hard to imagine. There's even pet waste on the floor that hasn't been cleaned up. This seemingly small detail has caused real concern among her loved ones. A family member shared with obvious worry: "She's not cleaning, no one is taking care of her daily, and she isn't living like a normal adult." These words are heartbreaking because even those closest to her can't ensure her safety. Britney's family, people who once stood by her at the peak of her career, now live with fear. No one knows what the future holds for Britney. Will she be able to take care of herself, or will chaos continue to overwhelm her? These questions remain unanswered, leaving everyone feeling uneasy and anxious. I believe Britney is still on a journey to heal her inner wounds, and what she truly needs is time. On the outside, she may appear okay, but inside she's going through a private struggle that no one can fully see. Yet this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It shows that Britney is trying every day to improve herself. Her past has been full of challenges and hardships, but she continues to show resilience, pushing through it all. And I truly believe it's never too late to rebuild a brighter, happier future. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore, please feel free to leave a comment. We will continue to strive to bring you better content and more insightful stories. We wish you good health and hope every day is filled with wonderful things. See you in the next video. Thank you.